5 minutes after the closing bell. And for that, I do want to bring in our guest, Aadil Zaman, a Wall Street Alliance Group partner. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Look, a record high day for the stock market, for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ not quite there. Is this on the back of that infrastructure plan that we got out of Washington?
Great to be with you, Kristen. Happy Friday. So we feel that this infrastructure plan is fantastic. It is very encouraging that they've actually come to some type of an agreement, and we feel that when roads and bridges are going to get built, this is going to definitely help certain sectors in the market, like the industrials, right? So when roads and bridges get built, construction aggregates are used, cement and gravel is used. So we think a company like Vulcan Materials, which is a leading producer of construction aggregates, is going to benefit from this. But we still feel that, the market is up partly because of this news, but what the market is not factoring in right now and is sort of ignoring is inflation. And we are in the camp that is still very concerned about inflation. And we are working on strategies for our clients to inflation-proof their portfolios.
And what are some of those strategies? I mean, we see prices rising across the board. And yes, the Fed does maintain that it is transitory, but I think a lot of people really do feel the pressure, whether it's at the pump, at the gas station, at the grocery store, at restaurants, at retailers, whatever it may be. How do you position your portfolio for that?
Yeah, great question, Kristen. So, if you read between the tea leaves of what Powell has been saying, it seems like he is likely to let inflation run hot for some time. And we feel that the one strategy that you could use is invest in companies that actually have pricing power, that have the ability to increase their prices and pass them on to the customers without losing any customers. And then to invest in companies that have the ability to increase their dividends faster than inflation, right? So these would be your S&P 500 dividend aristocrats, which are companies that have consistently over at least 25 years year over year, not only paid dividends, but actually year over year have actually increased their dividends. So we like a company like McDonald's, for example, which is a dividend aristocrat, pays a great dividend, and also has that important international exposure, which it can benefit from the global reopening, which we feel at this point having an international exposure is quite important as well.
Do you think, though, that, Adela, we've hit the peak inflation because we were coming off such low levels in March, April, May of last year? We did start to see the economy recover in June of last year as people were basically relieved from lockdown and as the weather warmed up and as some people actually got back to work at restaurants as the summer season started. And so knowing that those toughest comparables from where we were a year ago have passed, do you think that these numbers will come down from here, the rate that we see prices increasing?
So yes, there may be some relief there, and there might be some portions of this inflation that are actually transitory as well. But think about it, to take an example, if you look at a company like Amazon, companies like these that have raised their minimum wages to $15 or higher, they are not going to go back and they're not going to start, cutting back those wages. It's very hard to see. So we're going to see wage inflation, and we feel that inflation is going to continue to be sticky over here. So investors are better off in having strategies to inflation-proof their portfolios, and that's something that we are actively working on for clients.
Meme stocks, is that a sector at all that you're dipping into, Adele? I know that you're taking long-term strategy here, but we see names like Virgin Galactic, for instance, was a meme stock at one point, but also now is seeing a huge surge today on the back of what seems to be a watershed moment that it actually has received the approval to send people to space.
So, we feel we are in the camp where we really feel that investments should be based on strong fundamentals, right? If a company has strong fundamentals, we would be attracted to that company. We wouldn't just focus on a company just because people are memeing about it. That's almost like going to Vegas and playing on a roulette table where there's absolutely no skill involved in that. But if we take a step back, aside from meme stocks, there's so many opportunities right now in the market. If you look at, for example, the international space, we feel that investors should now start dipping their toes in the international markets as well, because as countries catch up with vaccinations, it's only a matter of time. You're going to start seeing that their stock markets are going to start positively going up, similar to what we've seen in the US. So in that space, for example, we like this company, Mercado Libre, which is the Amazon of Latin America. And this company, like Amazon, has a complete ecosystem, where they have their e-commerce division, and then they ship the goods to customers as well. But where we see the greatest potential for growth is in their fintech branch, which is Mercado Pago, which is their version of PayPal, which has experienced phenomenal growth of about, their payment volumes last year went up by about 75%. So we are seeing these type of opportunities, which we are more excited about as compared to meme stocks.
All right, Aadil, we got to leave it there. Aadil Zaman with Wall Street Alliance Group partner. Thank you so much on a record day for the S&P 500 and the best week for the S&P since April.